their teachers and be like, oh, what we discussed last week, I did not understand it. Most of them are shy to speak up, right? So this is the problem that smart classroom is also solving. How does smart classroom solve this problem? It solves it with providing an entry quizzes to check what the students already know and how it relates with that particular topic, right? Then as you're teaching them, you're also giving them like live questions during the explanation. You are giving them live questions. You are asking them question that relates with maybe a scenario or an event that happened in the school or in the classroom. You're also giving them live questions so that you will see how they understand the topic, how they understand what you are explaining so far. The next one is automated objective quizzes. As students are interacting with the content that you provided with them, they are also taking questions, they are also writing quizzes. So they don't just finish a course and then maybe relax or don't have anything to work on, or maybe work on an assignment later. As they are learning, they are answering questions, they are taking questions inside the content. So they also have exit tickets at the end of a lesson. So they learn according to they learn step by step. They don't just go from point A and rush to point or jump to point C when they have not learned the second stage, which is point B, right? They learn in stages, from explanation, from objective to explanation, and then explanation to real life examples, questions. That's how smart classroom provide learning content for students. Then the next one is that it also has dashboard showing frequent missed questions. So you from here you understand where the students have difficulties. If there are questions that or a quiz that pops up during the learning content and then they miss the question, or they skip the question because maybe they did not understand the question, they skip it. You see that, oh, percentage of students skip this question, which means you need to throw more light or you need to explain that concept better for them. So you discover learning difficulties for your students in real time. As they are learning, you're discovering their difficulties. All right, the next problem is large classes make individual attention difficult. We are human, we teachers, we are humans, and yes, there's no way that you have 40 students in a class and then you attend to them individually. You make individual you pay attention to their individual needs at the same time. Is very very difficult. So how does smart classroom solve this problem? It solves it by providing a station rotation during learning. So in this station rotation, you group your students for learning activities or project activities. So a slow learner student gets to be in a group with a fast learner student or somebody that understands better. And when they are collaborating together to do these things, the person learns from their peers, right? The one that understand better gets to teach the one that didn't understand it clearly better. So today, let me say I'm a slow learner. Today I'm in a group, a learning group with somebody that understand the topic better. The next day I am in a group with someone that learns faster or has another way of learning that the person I might even learn from that person. So you see, the work is not just done. The individual attention work is not just done by the teacher. You can also allow your students to help you out with it through this station rotation. Okay, the next one is accessibility features, where you provide captions, audio text, text to speech, enlarged text, high contrast display, and language support. Like for a student that maybe a student moved into your area newly and the person does not really understand the language that is being used in that area. So language support, imbibing language support in your learning content helps the person to learn learn and accommodate the person to learn more, and then uh how do I say, to like follow the others. The person will not be left behind just because of language barriers, right? Another one is there are students that have problems with their eye. They might not see large text easily. Some even can't read very well, so they might need audio to listen to them and understand. So smart classroom accommodates all these things, and then every student has access to all these things, and then the individual needs are being solved, right? The next one is differentiated tasks. Learners have different learning ability, understanding ability, yes, and then that affects the task that they do. If you give all of them the same task, they might not, some of them might not do well, some might do well. So smart classroom provides a self-paced practice and additional support for students that are struggling. And for students that are not struggling, that means they already understand the topic. That you smart classroom also provides them an extension task, like a more in-depth task for them to do, because they already understand the basics. And people that did not understand the basics, they also have their own tasks to do, right? So moving to the last problem that we have here, we the last problem is progress is hard to track and learning stops after class. Most of us experience this. We don't really know how best to track like individual learner academic performance, right? It is difficult to track, to understand how is this person doing well, how is this person doing academically. Now this person came to this school 2 years ago. What is the difference between the person 2 years ago and the person now? It's difficult to track. And learning stops immediately after the school activities that day, or the classroom activities for that day. Learning stops, and there is no other thing that should be talked about in that topic. The next day you start with a new topic. This is a problem, a very big problem, and for learner, especially for learners. So how does smart classroom solve this problem? It solves it by providing their lesson notes from the beginning of the session to the end of the session. On that topic, the videos, feedback, the assessments results, the learner portfolio, they are all in one place, right? Uh, they are all displayed in one place. They are all stored in one place in smart classroom. So students have access to lesson notes to do their own personal learning, and teachers also has uh, access to their assessment results to track how they did with their how they performed in their assessments, and their results, how they are doing now, and the difference between how they were doing last year and how they are doing now, right? So another way that smart classroom solves this problem is that it identifies repeated difficulties. Let me say a student, when you were teaching a student in the class, the student did not understand. Let me say for that evaporation class, the student did not understand what evaporation is. The student asked a question in the class, I did not understand the evaporation, and you explained it again. And you also, when you now check the student assessment, you also discover that when the student was taking the assessment, the person still did not understand evaporation, right? And when you also, the from the survey and the poll that you created in that same topic, the person still did not understand what evaporation is. So you identify, oh, this person did not get it clearly, maybe I should change it to, I should, you will not take this decision from the case scenario, from the issue, the problem or the difficulties that the person is having. You now know the perfect solution, right? So the next one is beyond classroom. Smart classroom encourage, from what we have been saying so far, smart classroom encourage learning beyond classroom, and even teacher to learner interaction outside the classroom, because the teacher has access to the learning platform storage, and the student also has access to it. So whatever the students, how the students are interacting with the learning content that the teacher provided or uploaded for them in that storage, the teacher has real-time access to it, or real-time visibility is visible to the teacher as the students are interacting with those contents, right? So this solves the problem of academic progress of learners being hard to track, and then learning stopping after the class, the classroom activities, right? Okay, so moving over to what we have next, which is how to identify if you need a smart classroom, right? So you cannot provide a solution for an unknown problem. It's when you identify the problem that you have that you will now know the solution, or the perfect solution for that problem. So if you're going to use a smart classroom, you should as well know the problem that you currently have, that you think smart classroom is the best solution for that problem. So what are the questions that you should ask yourself, or you should answer, to now identify that you actually have this problem that smart classroom solves? One of the first question you should ask yourself is, do all learners receive the same explanation even when some need different approach? The second one is, are learners actively thinking and participating, or mainly listening and copying? The next one is, which concepts are difficult to demonstrate with current resources? Let me say you're just using only notes, only lesson notes. Which content is difficult to demonstrate with that current resources, that current lesson note that you are using? So when you identify, you now know where the next resources that you should add. So the next one is, can I determine during the lesson who understands and who needs help? This is another question you should ask yourself and answer, right? The next one is, can I support different abilities, that is learners abilities and accessibility needs? And then the final one is, can learners revisit lesson, and can I track, I as a teacher, can I track what each learner has mastered? So these questions are what you should ask yourself. And how do you answer it? You answer it by paying attention to what is happening in your classroom. That is how you get the answer to these questions, and then the answer will now tell you if you need a smart classroom or not. So the next one is, what are the main components? The next one is the main components of a smart classroom. We have been talking about a smart classroom, a smart classroom. When you see a smart classroom, what will you see there? So I'm going to be listing out what you will see in a smart classroom, and then the purpose. What function, or are those things used for in the smart classroom? The first one is teacher computer. So the teacher computer, is the main purpose is for the teachers to run lessons, presentation, and classroom applications, learning applications. The next one is projector or large display. The purpose is to make content visible to the whole class, right? So when you have a short-sighted person at the back of your class, something like that, you have your projector, and then the font should be large enough to accommodate both long-sighted, short-sighted, and all of that, right? So the next one is learner devices. The purpose of learner devices is to enable research, practice, creation, and assessment. The next one is local network or Wi-Fi. When you're using smart classroom, is technologically is technological driven, right? So you need network, you need local network, you need Wi-Fi, you need strong one at that. So the purpose is to connect devices and distribute contents. The next one is learning platform. You need a learning platform that organize lessons, assignments, quizzes, and learning. Can you hear me now?
Yes, they can hear you.
Please, I'm sorry for that disruption. I'll continue now. Listen. Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay, we are talking about the components of a smart classroom and then the purpose, right? So the last one that I talked about is local network and Wi-Fi. So the next one is learning platform, which the purpose is to organize lesson notes and lesson plans, organize assignments, organize quizzes and academic record, right? So the next one is digital content repository, where a digital storage device where you store curriculum aligned learning materials, right? So the next one is power and backup power. Like I said before, smart classroom is technological driven, right? So you need electricity, and if you're having an electricity issues in the place that your school or your institution is located, you need a backup power, right? The purpose is to keep lesson running so that you will not have a disruption in your teaching and learning activities. So the next one and the final one of the main component of a smart classroom is teacher training, right? So the teachers in a smart classroom should be technologically trained, or they should be trained to be able to deliver lessons in a smart classroom. The purpose is to enable effective instructional use, right? So moving ahead to the next one, which is advanced components of a smart classroom. Advanced component of a smart classroom. In advanced smart classroom, you will find interactive flat panels. You find documents, cameras. You find visual. You find visual or augmented reality, that is VR. You also find adaptive. You also find adaptive learning platforms, right? Then you also find AI supported tutoring tools and robotic and market space equipment. So all these are the things that you find in advanced smart classroom. Moving ahead, we are going to look at what happens during a smart, in a smart classroom, right? Is a smart lesson that is being delivered. So what are the things that happen during a smart lesson? First of all, you in a smart classroom where a smart class is going on, you first of all connect your students or your learners. You connect the topic that you're introducing to your students. You connect it with the prior knowledge that they have, right? So you first of all bring in something that will refresh their memory or bring back what they already know before, that is related to that topic or that has to do with that topic that you want to teach them. So when you do that, the next one is you introducing the topic in different learning materials. You in the like lesson notes, like videos, like diagrams, like animations. You present it and explain the concept using these different materials, right? The next one is you interact with them. After explaining this concept, you interact with them to understand if they understand or not. Remember we said that some of them will not some of them are shy to ask questions, right? So you make sure that all of them say something, all of them interact, all of them participate in that learning activity. How do you do that? You do that through polls. You create a poll in which all the students will answer, provide an answer, pick an option or something like that. You also give them simulations to work on. Simulations has to do with you provide them with simulations with real world problems that is directly related to the topic that you're teaching them, right? You also provide annotation so that they will see step-by-step guide. They will have step-by-step guide on how to do their projects, right? So the next one is explore. How do you explore? How do you encourage students to explore? You encourage them to explore by giving them an individual or a collaborative investigation project to do, right? You give them something uh, to encourage them to go further, make more research on that topic, right? So the final thing that happened during smart lesson is great. So when students have been taught, you explain a topic, they interact with it, they do more research on the topic. The next one is for them to produce a visible product. It might not just be a visible product. They'll just be creative, like with what they have learned, right? It can be they can bring up a concept from that topic. If it has to do with something that you can create a visible product, they can, yes, because they have already understood the topic very well. They will now create something, right? So in a smart classroom, the smart lesson does not just stop by when you explain, you ask your student questions and then they answer the few questions. It ends when they can actually create something out of what they have learned so far. All right. So the next thing that we have here is uh learning models that that is supported by smart classroom. So the learning models that smart classroom supports are blended learning. So in smart classroom, you 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 don't it blends face-to-face learning, like the physical classroom learning with digital classroom learning, where where students learn visually as well, or virtually as well, right? So it's not just they're not just seeing the faces of they're not just seeing their teacher's face every time they're learning. Of course they do in the classroom, the physical classroom, but also in the smart classroom, in which combines both physical and digital classroom. They learn more, they combine the two of them, right? So the next one is flipped classroom. Flipped classroom has to do with introducing a topic with a question or a real world problem, right? So the students don't just start with you explaining what a topic is all about. No, it starts with them seeing a problem, you introducing a problem to them, or or introducing a material, an introductory material for them to uh, get a background or a basic knowledge of what you are going to teach them next, or the topic that they are going to learn. That is what flipped classroom, which is a model, which is also a model that smart classroom supports. The next one is station rotation. Station rotation, like I explained before, is where you get your students to collaborate with each other to do a project or an assessment, right? So they collaborate with a particular group today. The next day the next lesson, they are doing it with another group. That is station rotation. And then the next one is project and inquiry based. Smart classroom supports a learning model where students investigate, students make more research, right? They make more research on a topic, find uh, meaningful problems that the content of that topic provides. What they learned from the content of that topic provides or enhance them to provide a solution to that problem. So how do we do someone will ask, how does smart classroom improve learning? Smart classroom improve learning through better visualization, in the sense that when you provide the student with animation, simulation, interactive models, an interactive model, or even videos, something like that, it makes hard concepts easier for them to understand, right? When we talked about blood circulation, chemical reaction, and planetary rotation, it gives them a better understanding of topics like this, right? Another one is increased participation. Right? In increased participation, smart classroom improve students, it enhances students and encourage students to participate more in the classroom, right? Through polls, quizzes, and collaborative boards, right? All these things makes every single student in the classroom will participate fully in a lesson. Then finally, faster formative assessments. So for us teachers, we smart classroom helps us to see how students answer questions, which questions was difficult for them to answer, which concept was hard for them to understand, and then how we can help them with those topics or with those concepts. uh this is the end of my presentation, and I believe that I have been able to give us a foundational understanding of what smart classroom is all about. And I know that you, as the next thing activities that we have today, which is the practical part, this presentation will enable you to understand what the practical part is all about, right? Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much, Mr. Vincent, for having me, and everyone for having me today. Thank you.
For your um, wonderful presentation on smart classroom, what it entails, the challenges we us teachers face currently in our classrooms, and how LinkSkool is here to help us make a better management of our classrooms for effective teaching and learning. I believe that we all have learned one or two things in about classrooms, and I know that we are all looking forward to seeing how all these things can be implemented in our own personal classrooms across different institutions that we find ourselves. So thank you all for your patience to this point. Yeah, I think at this point, this is where the whole thing is going to get interesting, because earlier before the webinar, we told you that we were going to be having a practical session going to be having a practical section where we're going to walk us through the processes of creating and managing our own classrooms with the LinkSkool platform that we are going to be taking a hands-on section there. So I know we can't wait to get to that point where we see it live. Now, I'm going to share just a a brief video of what um, we intend to do. Like, why do we need to adopt technology in education? Where has education taken technology to? So I'm going to indulge us to just pay close attention to an important video that I'm going to share now. All right.
Artificial intelligence is changing education, and that's forever. But the real question is not whether your students will use AI. The question is, are you as an educator prepared to use AI effectively? So imagine preparing quality lesson plan in minutes, creating assessments and making rubrics with AI, developing presentations, learning resources, and personalized activities for your students without spending hours doing everything manually. You could also imagine creating awesome video lessons that explains the different concepts clearly to your students using AI. This is what we want to teach. Join us for a professional certificate in AI for education. This program specifically covers AI-assisted lesson planning, curriculum planning, differentiated and personalized learning, as well as assessments, rubrics, feedback, and AI-generated video lessons.
As educators, technology should never replace good teaching. It should help us become better teachers. That is why this program goes beyond simply showing you AI tools. We will explore how to use AI within sound educational practice to develop learning objectives, design classroom activities, support different types of learners, and create meaningful assessments. You will also learn how to use established educational frameworks such as Bloom's taxonomy, 12 steps of knowledge, There's 9 events of instruction, and understanding by design when working with AI. So, you are not simply asking AI to generate objects. You are learning how to direct AI as an education professional. These 4 instructional frameworks are explicitly incorporated into the program's prompt engineering for educators module.
And education today is no longer limited to textbooks and PowerPoint slides. What if you could turn your lesson into an engaging video? What if you could create animations, professional voiceovers, educational podcasts, graphics, and multimedia learning experiences using AI? During this program, I'm going to show you how. You don't have to be a filmmaker or professional designer. We will work practically with modern AI tools to help you transform your knowledge into content that today's learners can see, hear, and engage with. The course includes AI video creation, educational animation, avatars, voice generation, multilingual narration, podcasts, and other AI-assisted media applications. So I tell you, this is not just a course where you simply sit down and listen to people talk about AI. You are going to build real things. You will create prompts, you will develop lesson materials, you will generate assessments, you will also create presentation and also educational. At the end of this program, you must have built your own AI teaching portfolio.
Whether you are a teacher,
A lecturer, trainer, or content creator, a school owner, administrator, or education professional.
you don't need to be a programmer.
You don't need to be an AI expert. You simply need to be ready to learn. The program is designed for educators across schools, universities, administration, coaching, and curriculum development. And you don't need to have a prior knowledge of AI to join this program. The future of education will not be about AI replacing teachers. It will be about educators who know how to combine human creativity, professional teaching expertise, and the power of artificial intelligence. Join us for the professional certificate in AI for education. Don't just watch AI transform education. Learn how to lead that transformation. We look forward to seeing you in class.
I I know that a whole lot of us that watch the video can't wait to get their hands on the all the learning objectives that the AI certification program for educators promises to give us. So it's going to be an interesting program for all the educators and the teachers, right? So if you are yet to register and get book your own spot for the upcoming program for all the teachers and the educators around the globe, then you should do that as soon as possible. And then there is another interesting video that I would want to share with us now. And all right, let me find the
you ever wondered where rainwater goes? They have goes, 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 they have goes. Good morning, students. Good morning, students. Today, we are going to learn about the water cycle. Have you ever wondered where rainwater goes after the rain stops? Stop, 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 stop,
All right. Sorry about that. We are trying to share a video content that we were able to use AI and LinkSkool to generate, and sorry, we are just going to play it now. We want you to watch it, just a bit of it, because this is what we are going to show you how to show it to your learners. Let's say you have a student you are taking, and you have a video content that you want them to watch, maybe to improve their understanding, right, on learning. So you can also create your own kind of video for each topic, and then share it on our on the platform, LinkSkool platform, which stands as a learning management system. So just give us just in a minute, it should be rectified. The echo, the sounds that is echoing should be rectified in a jiffy.
About the water cycle. Have you ever wondered where rainwater goes after the rain stops? Stop, 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 stop. Some rainwater flows along the road. Some and 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 some.
I'm trying to. Sorry about that. Maybe we're going to share the link to the community WhatsApp group so you can play it directly from there. And also going to share the link here on the chat box so you can play the link. You can play the YouTube video on your device and then see what AI and Link School can be. Yes, the video is lagging. The video is lagging. I've shared the link on the chat box so you can play them there and watch what AI and Link School were able to do. Now, on that note, we are going to go into the practical section of this webinar. And first of all, from the slide, the presentation slide, what we need at this point is the invitation, the link that we're going to. All right. So we're going to go to the practicals, and then I'm be sharing the link to our learning management system, LinkSkool, on the chat box now, and also on the WhatsApp, so that everybody will participate in this section. So I've dropped it now. If you have gotten the link, just let me know on the chat box so that we take it step by step. Right? If you have the link, just click on it and then reply on the chat box. Let me know where we are. All of us will take this step one after the other. All right. Thank you, Isabo. Sorry if I didn't pronounce the name very well. So just click on the link. It is app.linkschool.net. So at this point, we're going to go into the practical section. All right. Okay. So if you have the link, I'll also be sharing my slide, my screen on step by step um, process of handling link school. So yeah, here we go. So on the link I sent to you, it's app.linkschool.net. Just tap on it on your device, whether you are using laptop or phone. In as much as it's better uh, um, seeing like on a laptop than on a mobile phone, but you can also follow the practical section with your phone, right? So if you have clicked on the link, can I also see your reaction and what you have there, right? I'm sharing. So okay, so once you click on the link, this is where it's going to land you to. Okay, some of you people are requesting for the link on WhatsApp. All right, so it's also on the WhatsApp group. The link is also on the WhatsApp group. All right, so this is the first page you find yourself anytime you want to access link school, right? Now the first thing you see, this is the home tab that shows different opportunities. that you can explore at your own convenience, right? This is the rich content that we have on our management platform. We also have the CBT. So the CBT part is meant for students preparing for different examination ranging from JAM, WAEC, JSSCE, Special Living Certificates, and others, right? So it has a CBT part of it where the students can use to prepare for examination, right? And one of the important, interesting parts of this part CBT is that it can be accessed offline without the need for um, very strong internet accessibility. So it's something you can access with low internet or no, right? Also have a program where we have this space for anyone who would want to participate in programs, right? You want a self-paced course, right? Just like Coursera and Udemy. So here we have this program coming up, which is teacher certification program that will be starting late this month on the 31st. So if you are yet to register, you can enroll for the program here from the program part of the LinkSkool. Now, as a teacher, this part is where we are going to be exploring. We are going to be exploring two flows. One as a teacher, then the second flow as a student. So from the beginning part of this, we um, we said that we're going to also be experiencing the management, the learning as students, right? So we're not just going to create, we're going to also experience as students. So you feel what the students face. Now, first of all, before if you this is your first time of coming to Link School platform, um, you first need to sign in, right? So here I've already signed in, but I'm going to log out so that we can be on the same page. So once you click on it on the top right here, again the training slide for this, like if at the end of it it's already we have a training slide that we're going to share to everybody who participated in this webinar, so you can practice this at home, and we also make it free for you to explore, and then we give us feedback when you practice and explore the teach and the learn flow as a teacher, right? So when you come to the Link School home, this area on the top right side of the app or the platform, you're going to see sign in. Now it's a mandatory process step of every teacher, right, to sign in so that your information will just be personalized to you, right? So here we are going to sign in, and we have two options. We can sign in as using a Google account, or you do a sign up with where you fill your information, your first name, the last name, and all the required fields, right? Now, but for the purpose of this class and to be faster, we are going to be continuing with a Google account, right? So here I'll click on the continue with Google account, and it will take me to give the authorize that I am the one signing into Link School with my Google account, and I'll follow it, then continue and complete the signing in step. I want to know if there is anybody who has gotten to this. So if you are at this point, you can just drop a chat on the chat box that you are there, so we can take everybody along. So I'll go to the chat box now to see if there is any um stuff there. So okay, you are there. Thank you, Ara. How who else is finding it hard to complete the signing in? Okay, all right. Um, so I will wait just for a second, then I'll move on to the next stage of building your own classroom. There. Um, I will still drop the link again for those of you saying you can't find the link. I presume that is what you are asking for. All right, but then I think not for not to waste much of our time, I think I will just move on to the next step. Remember, the training slide is available, and we'll share it to everybody. So if you're not able to follow this pace, just you can watch or record, but just know that at the end of this program we're going to share every slide that will help you create and manage your own classroom efficiently. So now I'm going to the next program after creating my signing into the portal, right, or the platform. So I've already have an existing account, which is a LinkSkool Academy, but I would also take us through the processes of creating our own institution, right? Our own institution is just like a school, right, where you manage your activities of your students in different classes and different levels. You also manage the courses that is peculiar for each classroom, each classes and levels, right? So now this is the existing platform I've created, but then I will just take us through the process of creating a new one. So we're going to create an institution. Yes, so I'll click on create an institution. So once I click on create an institution, this is where I fill the information for about my institution. Some of them are mandatory, some are optional, but we're going to fill all the required information. Now, for instance, the name of your school, what school do you represent, or are you a private tutor, a private teacher, or a home lesson teacher, whatever teaching sector or field you are. You're a trainer or in different skills. You can also create your institution here. So you can name it your personal, you can name it the school or your brand, the brand you are representing. So at this point, I am just going to recreate uh, a name, and I'll call it still links, or I've links already. So let me create an institution of digital dreams, which is a training, an ICT training institution right here in Enugu. So I'll create it ICT Academy, right? And yeah, this is the email address I am going to use. So you type in your email address and then the phone number that we're going to use to um, reach you in case there is any issue you experience, right? So this is the phone number I am going to be using. Now, these are the most important parts of this institution creation, right? The institution name, the account, email account, and the phone number. Other ones can be done. We also have a referral code here in case someone referred you to use this. Then you can also enter the person's referral code for the commission. Now you know that Link School is also for everybody who would want to make money on the side base. So you can recommend your colleague or anybody who is interested or who you know that have a training platform to use this for his or her training. So here we have a referral code and the website. If you have one, you put it there. Then the address of your institution can also be here. But then with these three, we are good to go. So here I'm going to click on create an institution. So I want to know um institution okay, it's already existing. Just like I said earlier, that the email address and this institution is already existing, so I can't create another. But I want to know how many of us have been able to create institution. So I will return to the chat to see if um anyone is having issues. So if you have created an institution, please can I see a reaction on the chat, so we don't leave anybody behind. Oh, oh, Ezefet, I think you joined us late, but then just watch on what we are doing, right? Because of time, might not have these two. You are lost. Okay, are you lost based on? I'm talking to Ezefet. Are you lost based on the creation? Like you've not or you don't have the link for this? Just if you can hear me, just type on the chat box so I'll know where your problem is. All right, Pamela Tochi, thank you for following. All right, I can see all of you that have created, so I will move on. All right, so the next thing we are going to do is that we have our own institution. So, um, okay, so once you create your institution and your schools, just like we call it in the real world, you now have access to this, right? The option. Let me okay. So the next thing we'll do is that you are going to let me just hold on a bit. Just hold on. Um uh, just a little bit. All right, sorry, I really want to all of us to take to follow the step by step this, and I can't create a new one. I've exhausted all my email address, so just may hold on. Let me use this email address to recreate this. All right. All right. Think we are back. So you said I'm following, but want to create after. I can't after the class. Okay. All right. Then as a faith, you said I'm lost on how to create my own institution. Okay. So if you are lost in creating in your institution, that is what I am showing here. But I so if you are in this point, I want to recreate an institution so that all of us will be on the same page. Dreams ICT Academy, right? So this is the phone number, and here we go. So I'm going to create this institution at this point. All right. Now, this is once you create an institution, we have the plan for you. Now, and this is what where you choose the different size of or the different kind of plans that you want to use in your learning on your teaching sector. Here we have the one that takes a tutor for only 5 learners can be onboarded here. Then here we have 15 learners for 4,500, and then we have this, right? Now we have made this one free, so we're going to use this area, the start a free trial part of it to for this training. So click on start 7 day free trial for you to complete your institution creation. So here I'm going to click on start free 7 days trial, and everything will be um, open, right? So this point you have access to every feature of LinkSkool, right? And it lasts for 7 days, so you can explore different parts of this at your own convenience after the class. Remember, I said that the training material will be available for everybody. So I want to see who is still following at this point. Lost. Who is following? Please, if you are still with me at this point, can I see your reaction on the chat box? You have created your own institution and you have your institution there. Yes, okay. All right. So let's move on. So now our institution is created and ready. Now, the next thing we'll see after you choose your trial package is where you set a pin. So we're going to be setting a pin for this institution, right? You use your institutional pin to secure your platform. So I'm going to just create an institution pin for myself. And remember, don't use a repeated digit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because it can be hard. So what we're going to do is mix different numbers, right? Mix different numbers, and it has to be digits only. So I am going to run my own institutional password and pin. All right. So do So if you have done that, you can set a device to remember it for you for 30 days. And here we go. So before we do this, I want to check if anyone is lost. Okay. All right. So click on sorry, let me check. Oh, energy. Now, if you are lost at this point, I advise you to just watch what we are doing. Right at the end of this program webinar, we are going to share the training material for everyone to try it on their own. Now, if you have any issue, you can always reach out to us that you are trying to do this on your own classroom and you are having the challenge, and we will definitely attend to you, right? Just watch and follow. You can record and also just watch and write down steps. So at this point, we are setting this pin, and here we go. Our pin set, right? So we are in, and this is what your classroom looks like. Your classroom has an overview where it breaks down everything about your classroom in one phase. Then we also have the courses where we set different courses that we train or we teach our students, and then the students part of it where we are going to be importing and onboarding students at the end of this program. We also have the teachers where you invite the staff to collaborate with, right? And also have the academic structure where we create the classes and the levels for that. So first of all, we are going to add a level, right? We're going to add our level where we going to give different sections like JSS1, primary 1, and also if you have JSS1A, that is one we talk about the sub level and different kind of levels. So we're going to add the first level. We're just going to work for one class. So here I'll bring it down to, let's just take a primary 1 um, class, right, or level. Then we can also put a code for it. That is, if you are interested in doing this, maybe P1, right? That shows the primary 1. Now, this class, this level, is it active? Yes, it is active. So it means that it can be courses and students can be added to them. Then we also have the, does it accept students? Yes, if you're accepting students in primary 1, you do accept students. If you don't, you don't click on accept. Then accept courses, yes, it's also, you can also create course for primary 1 students. And here we go, we save this level, and at this point we have created one level for our classroom, just like creating a class JSS1 in our schools. So I'll still go back to check if anybody is following, or right. If you are at this point, please can you just indicate if there is any issue in your own part. Also indicate, especially if you have been following me to this point, so that we'll move on together, right? Do I? All right. Okay. All right. Thank you for following and you with me. All right. So we move to the next step. Now, the next step is where we're going to create courses for the class that we just created. All right, so this, we are done with this academic structure for now. So we're going back to the courses. This part is where it gets still more interesting in our learning management system. So what are we going to do here? We're going to create a course, right? Or yes, we will create a course. Let's create a course before we go to the students. So we'll go to this part, the top right of your classroom. You are going to see create course. So we're going to be creating a course on basic science or something of that nature. So we click on create course, right? And here we have two options: creating for schools and creating for general. And when you create for school, you are creating for your school. For instance, the normal course that you take in school, we have basic technology, basic science, and all those courses. And for general course, it's when you have a brand, a professional brand, training brand, where you create different courses for your students, right? For instance, if you are an ICT training person or something of that nature, you can create a course on graphics design or data analysis. But here we're going limiting it to school, right? So we create a course here and also create our lesson plans and lesson notes. All right, so here I'm going to click on the school course and I'll click on continue. So continue to create this course. All right, now we have different options that are required of us to create courses. So the first option here is the course cover. Maybe you have a thumbnail or just a graphic, a flyer that describes what the course is about, right? It's an optional part of it. It's not something you have to a must do on the part. So I'm not going to add a course banner there. I'll go down to the course title. Now, the course title, I said we are doing primary one, um, primary one basic science. So create your own course, any course of your choice. But here I'm creating a basic science primary one. Okay, then the short description here, you also describe what basic science, maybe describe the course. Here at points you can say a course um RSC, a course that trains of students, right, about just generally earth and, let me just say earth and matter, anyhow. All right, so I believe we have created our own course there. So that's just a short description. It is not a must. Now the placement, this placement shows which class or which level is this meant for. The course, remember we created just one level for ourselves, which is primary one. So here we are going to select the placement and it's a primary one. Now the subject of the course is under basic science. So I will select basic science here to put it as a subject. Then estimated duration of course, you can put just 8 weeks or so. And is it going to be a paid course or a free course? Now we're going to make it free, not a paid one. So we make it a free course. And here we go. We are done. I want to check again on the chat who is with me. Please, if you are with me, just show up. Let's move on. Who is with me? All right. Or are we all lost? Pamela Tochi, Ara, and Ejiofor. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. So let's move on. Okay. So the next thing we do is that we are creating our course and then, bam, we are done. Right. So we are done with course creation. The next thing I want us to also do is to create topic under this course, right? And we are going to be creating topics. Now, in topics, what topics entails is it entails the lesson plan and then the lesson notes, which shows your your teaching material, right? So we're going to create a plan and a teaching material here. So on this bottom right of the platform, you will see create. Now remember, this create is happening under primary one basic science, right? So what are we creating under this course? We are creating a topic, right? So I'm going to pick a topic just like we watched on the video, a water cycle topic, right? So we're going to be training the kids on the water cycle. So I'll click on create. Then I'll also select the topic I want to create here. The title, once you click on the topic, you see a title and you fill in your title. So I'm going to be creating a topic on water cycle. Bam. And once I'm done, press just hold on. Let me edit it back. So once you create a course on water cycle, you move to the next options here, which is the description of the water cycle or the topic you have created, right? So maybe the description of this topic is going to show them how the shows, let's say, shows the movement of water, right? Movement of water from one area. Let's just put one area here to another. So when you are creating your own course, you your topic, you have your description. If you want to, it's an option, it's optional. Then the objective, maybe at the end of this class or topic, the student should be able to describe water cycle. Yeah. Then the weeks, the duration, can put it for 1 week, and we are cool. All right. So at this point, we have filled up every necessary information requirement for our topic to be added under the course. So here I am going to either save it as draft first. I'm saving it as draft. Then later we can now do the publish. Now saving as draft is just like you don't have the content ready, but you just want to create it at this point. So let's save this in as draft. And once you save as draft, it comes here, and you can see the overview of this course we just created, the topic we just created. The title is water cycle. The duration is 1 week. We've not said when this is going to start and it's going to end. Then the status here is draft. It has not been published, right? So the next thing we're going to do is to publish this course. So we're going to be publishing the course. All right. So sorry, we're going to be adding content to the topic that we have created. So on this bottom right, you're going to see these three dots. So you click on the three dots and it shows you different options. But then let me look at where we are, and then before I move to the next stage. Oh, all right. I'm a little bit. Oh, yeah. Okay. You said that yes, there is going to be a handout that will be shared to all of you at the end of this webinar, where you can read the handout and then create this course, create all these things on your own. And you are also open for, in case you have any challenges along the line, you can shot on any of the admin on the community WhatsApp group to help you out in your challenges. But if you are at the point where I am, please can you show um, just indicate on the chat box. Let's move on because of time. Okay, select placement is open. Yes, select placement is where you select the class that the course you are creating is meant for. Right? So if your course is meant for primary one, primary two, then you can. All right. Thank you, Tochi, for staying with me till this moment. If who else is with me, so we can move on. All right, move on. All right. Thank you all for being part of this. So let's move on. Um, so on this part of this course I've created a topic, so we're going to now fill it with our content, and this is where it also gets more interesting. So we click on these three dots here, and then we can see manage content. Manage content is a place where you create one, your lesson plan. You create also your lesson notes, right? So your lesson notes involves your teaching material. Lesson plan is just like, I know we all are educators and teachers here, so no need explaining what these two concepts are, but we're going to be creating a plan that will guide us on our teaching. So first, let's create a plan. Now, in creating a plan, we have two options. You can start with a blank plan, or start generate with AI. But as our topic and title is a classroom management with LinkSkool and AI. I think we're going to be doing it with AI. Blank creation is not difficult. Just click on the blank, you click on open editor, then it will show you different areas or different shades where you're going to be doing your objectives and different activities that will be happening in your class. But let's, for the time factor, let's just do it with AI. So we are creating our lesson plan with AI, and we need just additional instruction if there is any additional instruction you would want to do. But here I'm not going to add any additional instruction, so we're just going directly to creating a lesson plan with LinkSkool AI, and let's see what it gives us. If you're at this point with me, just click on generate lesson plan, and then you give it some time, 2 minutes, 1 minute, it should be done. Right, so as it is generating, I will still go back to my chat to see if anyone is lost. Okay, I believe we are all following at this point, so let's go on with what we are doing. All right, so if yours is done generating, um boom, mine is done, and I have my lesson plan, right? Now, these lesson plans are something you should also maybe look at and do your own modification, right? You modify it before you publish or you save it, right? So if you want to, you can come here. This is learning objectives. By the end of this, learner should be able to, right, say what water is for at home, and then all this is used for all these plans. So these are different keywords, so you can go through them, and if there is any change you would want to make here, you can always make your changes, right? You can add other content sections and things if there is need for it, but if there is none, you can now move on and save your lesson plan, or you can even share it as a PDF or other document type that you can that can be used later. So you can go there. Just any each of these cards are editable, so you can type them inside them, remove the ones you don't want to remove after you are done. So we're just quickly going to save this, right? Now we can preview it, like in case you want to preview, you can preview it and see how it's looking. It's in tabular form, and you can, this is the lesson plan, the topic is water cycle, and all these information about the plan, right? So this is what we have. I told you you can modify it before you download. So here we can download this as PDF and then have it in your phone or your laptop. But then we are going to be saving it here in our classroom. So bam, and here it's saved. So the next thing I'm going to do after creation of lesson plan is to create the lesson note, which is the teaching material, right? So beside the lesson plan, right here, this is the lesson plan on the top left, and beside it you have a lesson note, so you can simply toggle between the two tabs. So, right. So here we are done with our lesson plan here, and the next thing we'll do is to create a lesson note. So we're going to be creating our notes at this point. So what do? We're going to click on generate with um, the notes. So we click on this lesson notes, and then it's still asking us, do you want to start from, do it from the scratch, or make use of technology. So we are using technology AI here to make our lesson notes. And boom, I will click on generate with AI. I need additional instruction, which I told you earlier during the lesson plan that it is optional. So here I will just click on generate lesson notes, and here we go. It's generating with AI. So I okay. All right. Who has generated a lesson plan and is at the point of generating a lesson note? If you are at the point of generating lesson notes and lesson plan, please just indicate so that we. Oh, you jumped a lesson plan. You can still go back to the plan. Just click on the tab, the this part of it. Let me show you. Oh, this is the lesson plan. This is your lesson note. So now my lesson note is gradually building, and this is power of AI in education now. So it's creating a teaching material for me. So when it's done creating the teaching material, I'll just publish it, right? I publish it and then give access to the students to participate and take the lessons from anywhere they are. So I'm waiting for someone who is at this point of creating a lesson plan. Okay, wow, we are very smart. All right, so at this point we are done. Mine is done. It's still generating, but at the beginning you can see, because this thing is made for primary students, and so it's showing different illustrations that effectively describes or creates the mental picture of what um, rain, where, look at where does rain comes from. So it's creating a mental picture of the question, and down here we are having different um, contents and subsections for our lesson plan, right? For our lesson note, which is on water cycle. So I'll still give it some time to create. We're done with creating of the lesson notes, and we'll go to the next stage. Come on. Yeah. Okay, so it's generating a very rich content for us here, and we can just give it some little time is to complete the generation. So if you are at this point, you can also indicate that you are with following and you are with me. If there is any confusion, you can also raise the issue so that we can sort it out if it's somewhere something that we can sort at this point. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for. All right. Okay. Fine. So we move on, and then let's. I just want to check if my lesson plan is done. My lesson note is done generating. Okay. See. Then just give it some time, and so it's generating number 9/13. So we have like four to go. The four cards to go. All right, it's done number 10. So we have basically remaining one. Now, one of the interesting thing that LinkSkool AI does is its ability to generate the quiz from the lesson notes, right? So this last card is already generating a quiz that goes with the plan, because at the end of the plan, each plan, we have assignments or assessments, whatever model you want to use to test your students. So it has created a quiz for me, 5 questions, which I can uh, just click on and it shows. Now it's generated 5 questions, one on water cycle. Here is saying what is water cycle, what happened during evaporation, when water vapor cools in the sky, what does it form. So this the quiz is coming from the notes, right? So it's expected that at the end of these notes, right, the student should be able to answer those questions that came with the lesson notes. Now, but this is not where we end. We can still add more information, more content, more teaching material to the lesson notes that we have created here, right? So here I'm going to add more I'll add more content here, right? So when you take your cursor or just click on at the end of every card, you're going to see a plus button. Now this plus button is used to add, we use it to add more content or more teaching elements in our lesson notes. So here I'll click on this plus because it's done generating. So I'll click on this plus icon and I will see video, right? Now, video content is one of the elements that currently we use in improving learning and teaching, right? So now we have also created a video on water cycle, which I'm going to be attaching to these lesson notes, which at the end of it, we're all going to be practicing this, experiencing it as the students. So here we have a video content. We have the resource where you can upload your PDF, Microsoft Word documents, other different resources, image, and so on. We also have the quiz, which the AI has automatically generated for us. The survey, when you want to get a feedback from the students or your people you are training, or we also have a poll that you can share in your assessment to get feedback. Still, assignment is there, we have discussion there, whole lot of elements that you can be attached to our lesson notes to improve learning, right? If this person prefer watching video, you watch video, or you read the content in PDF, or you take it as image, infographics, and all that. So here we're going to be attaching a video content to our lesson notes. So here I'll click on the video and maybe I will share the link of the video we just watched on this for on the chat box so that we all can pick it and put it in our right. Okay. So here I'm sharing the video link on the chat box. So pick it, copy it, and paste on your video. Once you click on the plus button and click on video, you see the video URL. So once I paste this video URL, which is the link of the video, the platform picks it, and this is where it's showing. I can title this and then just call it water cycle video, or video content or video learning material, right? So that is that, and the caption can also put the water cycle there as the caption of the video, right? So I'll pick it here and just drop it. It's option, the caption is optional, and then that is that, right? So we can also add different other contents here. You can explore that on your own. So now I'm done with this lesson. So I'm going to be publishing it for my students to take, right? So here I'll click on publish, and the lesson notes and its content will be published for the students to take from their um, own end. All right. So we are done with the lesson notes and the lesson plan. The next thing we are going to be doing is next thing we're going to be doing here is creating of other content, right? For instance, we want to create an assessment. Remember, in this primary one basic science, we created a course basic science, and then created the topic water cycle. So at this point, we are going to also create another learning or teaching material, which is assessment, right? So I'll create the assessment, clicking on create. The same create that we use to create the topic, we can click on it to create assessment. So here we click on assessment, and we can create different assessment. Assessment is just like quiz that you want the students to take, right? So here assessment is on basic science, and you can enter it maybe midterm assessment, right? Midterm assessment or assignment, whatever we you want to call it. The duration of this assessment is 30 minutes. And then when is this assessment going to be available, right? So here we are going to put it to start today. So this start is asking us to provide when the assessment is going to be available for students to take. So I'll click on this calendar sign, and I'll select 22nd of August, 12:37. So I'll just click on this 12:37, 22nd, and it starts. Now, when is it going to end? Maybe I'll pick tomorrow, 23rd, or even 24th. The same time it should end. So this gives you a window, the assessment window, when can students access this and when it will not be available for assessment. Now, if you want it to be the attempts, how many times can a student take one assessment? By default is unlimited, meaning that they can take it over and over again, but you can put the maximum number of attempts. Maybe you want two, or just make it one, right? So the student can only take it one. So here I'll put it at one attempt, or let's put it two attempts for each them, but I'm not sure any teacher would want students to take two attempts, so let's just pick it at one. Now, the total mark, how much mark are you going to be allotting to this assessment? Here is over, total mark is 100. Maybe we want to make it at 40 or 30. So I'll put a 30 there. I don't want to show the score for the students when once they finish writing. So I say do not show scores, right? So they don't see the score, because you need to review it before you publish the score. Then here, this is the required information that you need to create this assessment. And next thing we do is the sources of the assessment. It can come from the one you have already typed in your system, then you can upload it, right? Using a particular template which you can download from here. It has a set template or the CSV, so you can open them in your system, input your questions, and once you open it, you are going to see the required information that you need to be able to upload your assessments automatically. Or you can generate with AI, which is why we are here. So we are going to generate our question with AI. So I'll click on generate, and it's going to give me 10 questions by default. You can increase it, but let's just work with 10 and we move on. So here I am going to just click on generate, and the AI does its work while we watch and modify when it's done. So let me check. Fine, it's done generating the questions, and I want to go to the chat to see who is following at this point. Do I still have you following at this point? If you are lost, you can just share and let me know. So we continue. Okay. All right. Pamela, you said you're not following. Um, is this something you can type on? Okay. I think we have people that are following. Maybe we'll just move on with them. At the end of it, your training material will be available for you to practice it on your own, right? Okay, so we move on because of time. We are already running out of time uh, for this webinar. But there is the list, the different questions that the AI has generated for me. So I am just going to go ahead and then I will publish it, right? If I am okay with this. We can also add different kind of questions. For instance, this is multiple choice question, which here adding more questions, clicking on this plus button can give you option to add different kinds of questions, subjective questions or MCQ, which is multiple choice. But let me just add one short answer question, which is the subjectives. So here I click on short answer, and the only thing I need here is to type what I want. So I'll just put let's put the most simplest question which they'll be asking. Also, what is a noun? So I'll put these, and then I'll also supply the answer that I'm expecting, right? The answer that I'm expecting the student to give me. I'll just put it a noun is a name of a person, right? I don't know if this definition has changed, but I know it has. A noun is a name of a person, right? Animal, place, and things. And that is all I know here. So we are going to be saving this and we are publishing it for the students. So here I'll just click on the publish and save all. I'm not sure I did. Okay, fine. So you save everything you have done and then you can now publish it, right? So the quiz has been published and here we go. So now we have been able to create one lesson plan, lesson notes. We have created assessments, which is the quizzes, right? Now I'm also going to be publishing my this learning material. So I'll come to this arrow. From this place I edited the content area, so I'll click on it and then I'll publish the material. So the status of my materials, the learning and the assessment, are all published. So at this point the students can access it. But remember that we don't have any students in our classroom because we did not create any. I will just take you through how you can create a student and also invite a student to take the the questions and the learning materials. So what I'm going to do now is we are done with the this creation of all the learning materials under courses. Now let's go to student part of it, which is the point where all of us are going to be experiencing what we just created. So I'll click on students and we can add our own students, right? Or you just invite it. But basically, let me just show you how to add a student, and we can see how we can also invite a student. So here I'll click on students, but then let me check if anybody has any question. All right. I think we are all good to go at this point. So I'm going to continue adding students. So here, student actions. So I'll click on student actions and I'll add a student, right? I can also import students. If you are already using you have a list of your students, you can import them from CSV or from portal if you are using LinkSkool portal in your school, right? But now let's just add a student manually. I'm going to click on this student action, add students, and select the placement. Which class placement is just like class or the level of the student. So we remember we created primary one, So I add this student to primary one, then create a range number, right? So I'll just give this range number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will I will type the name of the student. So I'll use John Doe as the last name, and the middle name I will put the same. Okay, fine. So this is what we have, and then the phone number. Maybe you just put the phone number of the parents that you can use to contact them. But all these things can be done by default when you import them directly from either the portal or you import from your Excel or CSV. So here I'm going to save these students, and everything is set. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing the link so that you as a student can now see from your own end what we have been doing all this while, and then experience it as a student, right? So I'm going to create a link for all of you here, and I will share it. How many that can join? uh okay, now this is the placement for primary one. So this means that only primary one students be able to access what everything I have there. And then I have how many can join if you have, and this is where the plan comes into, right? If you have more than uh, 10 or 5 students, you have to upgrade it to it expires, and the days the link will expire, you select it, is optional. Now what do you want? Do you want each student to approve each student anytime they click on the link? Possibly in this case, no, I am not. So I'm going to add them straight away, right? And okay, fine. So let me just name this link basic water cycle. No, let me just call it basic science for primary one. So now we are set to generate our own link, and here I'll click on create a link, and it's going to, let me check. Placement is no longer available for student enrollment. Okay, I'm coming. Choose an expiry date in the future. Okay, I'm coming. Let me check something. Okay. Mm, basic basic science primary one. I don't want to. Okay. All right. Just give me a second. Let me look at what the issue is here. So I am done creating the links, and I am going to be sharing it here for it, right? So I'll share it here also on the WhatsApp platform for us to use it and see what what we have just created. All right. So here is the link on the chat box. I'll also be sending it on the WhatsApp, and then for to invite. So this is an invitation link for all of us to try it on their own. So just click on this link on the chat box. It will take you directly to where you can access the lessons and the video contents that we just created. So check it and see if you can access it. You can also drop your feedback on the WhatsApp if you clicked on here, right? So that we don't, because the class, this training has already gone beyond what we planned, and we are very sorry for taking all this time for the webinar. So I think we are done with the creation of the our classrooms, the courses, and every necessary thing that a teacher and a learner needs to take when they are training. Remember, I said that this material will be available for all of you to practice on your own. And with that, we are coming to the conclusion of the webinar. So if you have any questions, you can just drop it on the WhatsApp platform, where we reach out to you and help you solve it. And also we'll be needing a feedback on this, what you assessed when you click on the link as a student, to see how it helped you, and maybe access the lesson notes and the lesson material to just have the feeling as that. Yeah, the lesson material will be dropped on the WhatsApp link. If you are not there, you can indicate now, and then I will send the WhatsApp link here on the chat box, so that you click and then join there. I'll be dropping the lesson materials on the group for everybody to use and do the training on their own. All right, so we are rounding up, and if there is no question, we'll be closing for today, and then we continue the further explanation and necessary information on the platform. Remember about the AI professional certification, that is program that is coming up on the 31st of this month. If you are yet to join, right, if you are yet to participate, to register for the program, do well to do that, because it promises to be an interesting webinar and program, and your certificate will also be awarded at the end of the program. So thank you everyone who has stayed to this moment. We really appreciate you, and we keep improving and learning and being better and smarter in our teaching career with technology and AI. Once again, I remain myself, Mr. Vincent, and thank you for being part of this training. We'll see you again.